Hello everyone. Today our topic is how to rename columns using with column renamed function in PySpark. So the function is like this with column renamed. So in this C and R are capital letters. So this function mainly used to rename the columns permanently in the data frame. So if you apply this function, it returns a new data frame by renaming an existing data frame. So why it gives new data frame is due to since PySpark data frames are immutable. So because PySpark data frames are immutable data structures, so this function does not modify the original data frame. So instead, it will create the new data frame with updated scheme. So not only this function, any function in the PySpark, since it is immutable data structures, so it will create new data frame. So always it does not modify the original data frame. So next first we'll see the syntax. So df is the data frame and with column renamed. As I mentioned, C and R are the capital letters. And inside that you need to pass two parameters. So one is existing column name and second one is new column name. So existing column name is we need to pass as is a string containing the current name of the column that we want to change. So we need to pass as string the string containing the current name of the column. So that means we need to pick the column name from existing data frame. So which we want to change. And new column name is a string representing the desired new column for that column. So that means suppose we have employee name for in existing data frame. So suppose if you want to change that one, then we need to mention the new column name. Okay, so next we'll see the content of this video. What are the topics we are going to cover? So this video may be little length because we need to cover almost all the topics like how to rename columns by using with column rename function. So here I'm going to cover almost all the options possible using PySpark. So first one is renaming a single column using with column rename function. So how to rename multiple columns and how to rename columns with special characters or spaces and how to rename columns using dictionary and how to rename columns using dictionary and using with column rename function and how to rename columns using call.alias. This is a call.alias and with Python dictionary and using list compensation and how to rename columns after performing join operation and how to rename columns to uppercase and how to rename columns with prefix or suffix. So these are all the things we are going to see in this video. And this is the sample um, syntax. So suppose like df dot with column renamed. So this is my existing column name in my data frame. And I want to change column name like this. Instead of name, I want to change to employee underscore name. So same thing, we can do it by using alias also. This is by using with column renamed method, and this is by using select method. So df dot select. So we need to write column name and dot alias employee underscore name. So whenever we are using this with column renamed function, we need to define to some variable. So otherwise there is no effect of renaming that. So like this, we need to define to some variable. Then in that variable, we need to write this syntax. So first we'll see how to rename a single column. So how to rename So for single column, first I'm importing the function call function, and this is my sample data frame. So here I'm created with these columns. So employee ID and first underscore name, last underscore name, city, age. And by using spark.create data frame method, I'm passing this data. So this total 8 rows I'm passing here, and these are all my columns. So if I display this data frame, see total I'm getting 8 rows, and I have total 2, 4, 5 columns. So on top of this data frame, we'll see what are the different methods to rename these columns. So first, I'm going to change for any one single column. So here I have column name like first underscore name, this one. So I want to change this first underscore name to employee underscore first name. So as I mentioned earlier, we need to define to one variable. So df underscore renamed equal to, this is my original data frame and function called with column renamed. And inside that I need to pass my existing column name, that is this one, first underscore name. And I want to pass my new column name. So that is employee underscore first underscore name. So if I execute this one, see here, this column name got changed. So to employee underscore first underscore name. So here additionally what I'll do, I'll try to print schema also, and we can compare the schema. So here my column name is first underscore name as string tag, and same way here also I will try to print latest. So if I do like this, again it will display latest schema, and we can see here employee underscore first name as string data type. So for this is by using df dot with column renamed, by using our syntax old column name and new column name. So this is a regular method. So next we'll see same thing, means that means changing the column, single column, by using dictionary method. So here what I passed here, like as per syntax, old name and new name. So here, instead of that, same syntax, what I'm doing here, I'm passing dictionary here. In dictionary, I'm passing as key value pair. So for dictionary, starting and ending, I given flower bracket. And first I define my key. Key is my old column name and value as my new column. So you will get same result. So what I will do here, df dot direct single and at the same time I'll print schemas. See here, so even this method also got renamed this one, and here also by using dictionary method also the first name got renamed to employee underscore first name, and I printed schema here, employee underscore first name as string data type. So this by using dictionary. So this is about single column. Now we'll see how to rename multiple columns at a time. So while doing rename of multiple columns, we'll use chaining method. So chaining method means for renaming of single column, we used one time this function with column renamed. like syntax, old name and new name. Suppose if you want to do it for multiple columns, so you have to write like this multiple times. We have to use multiple times this with column renamed function. And so this is for employee ID column, this is for last underscore name column, and this is for age column. So here, so if I run this one, see here, initially we have employee underscore ID. See here, employee underscore like this we have. So that got renamed to this one, employee underscore ID. And first name, it is already renamed because here whatever I selected is df underscore renamed. So that is this one. So we already renamed this one, employee underscore first name. So remaining columns I'm renaming here. So df underscore renamed, and in this three columns, employee underscore ID, this already renamed. Next, last name, it got renamed to employee underscore last name. And age column, so here we have age like this column name, so that it got renamed to employee underscore age. And you can see this syntax also. So employee underscore ID as long type, employee underscore age as long type, and employee underscore last time as string type. And same thing now we are going to use with the dictionary. So with the dictionary, this is we finished now. Now we are going to discuss about dictionary for multiple columns. Okay, so okay, so if you see the syntax, df dot with column renamed, and inside that I'm passing dictionary. If you see starting and ending is a flower bracket, and earlier we passed single key value. For changing single column, I passed single key value pair. So now since I want to change for three columns, so this is my first key value pair. So in this, key is employee ID, that is my old column name. Employee underscore ID is my new column name. And this is second key value pair. And here key is old column name, and this value is new column name. And this is my third key value pair. And here this is key is my old column name, value is my new column name. So if I run this one, you can see scheme also here. Okay, so we can follow either of the method. So directly like this. So this dictionary method, it is much useful when we are doing multiple columns. Why? Because so as per regular method, so if we have 10 columns, we have to write like 10 times with column renamed, and inside that old name, new name, we need to write. So instead of that, what we can write is simply you can write a dictionary with single one time writing single column with column renamed, and inside that passing dictionary key value. So either directly we can write dictionary here, or otherwise we can write like this. So this is one method. So whichever you are comfortable, you can use uh, any of the method. So here what I did, df1, this is df See, so since I used df here in that is original data frame, so there I'm not I took original data frame and I modified only 3 columns. So that's why you're getting first underscore name as it is. But if you see here, I took df underscore renamed here, which is already modified to employee underscore name. So now what I will do, I will add one more key value pair here, like, so yeah, so first name. So my existing column name is this one, first underscore name. I want to change to employee underscore first name. So if I run this one, see now this also got renamed. And city I'm not touching, city I kept as it is. So it depends on which data frame you select here. So next, and here in this method, what I'll do, since I'm taking df, here also I will add this one. What I will add, this column I will add. So first name as employee first name. Maybe I can add at second position because this is second column. So sequence can be anything. So no need to follow order. That is fine. And maybe here what I will do, I will change, rename city column also. So this I will rename to employee underscore city. Okay. And here, this is df1. So df1 dot with column renamed, and this mapping I defined here. So mapping is my dictionary. So it depends on you how to write your code, whether you can define dictionary separately like this by using variable, that variable you can pass here, or directly inside your function, you can write it continuously, your dictionary. So both are fine. So what I will do, I will try to run this one. So here what I will do, I will print uh, original schema also, so that we can compare what are the columns got renamed. Okay. So if you see, this is my original data frame. So what I will do, I will add print statement. This is my original schema. So this is my original schema, and this is schema after rename. So you can see here, after applying dictionary, this employee space ID, it renamed to employee underscore ID. So something wrong. Let me check. So employee underscore city, it got renamed, and age changed to employee age. For verification, I will follow order. So first one is first underscore name that got renamed to employee underscore first name. So employee space name, employee space name. So let me check original data frame. So df is this one. So column name I entered wrongly. So employee ID. So this should be employee ID. And if you observe here, it not throwing error since employee name, old employee name, that means old column name is not matching. See, this with column rename function, if you pass any of the non-available column, it will not throw error. Instead, it will skip. So that you need to keep in mind. So here, this particular column in our existing data frame, we don't have that. But still, it not throwing error. Instead, it giving default column name. That means without renaming, it providing. So now what I'm doing, I'm updating correct column name, correct old column name. So now if I run this one, now it will get change employee underscore ID. And at the same time, first name, okay. So since the last name, so I'm not provided here in this list. So we are getting same as it is. So what I will do, so instead of employee space name, we don't have that last name. So for last name, what I given like this, employee underscore last name. So if I rerun this one, this last name will get changed to employee underscore last name. So now everything fine. If you look here, original schema after rename. So print original schema, it coming after that. Okay. So this is my original data frame. So if you see, these are all initial column names. So employee ID, first underscore name, last underscore name, city, age. And this got renamed to like this, employee ID renamed to employee underscore ID. First name got renamed to employee underscore first name. Last underscore name renamed to employee underscore last name. City got renamed to employee underscore city. Age got renamed to employee underscore age. So what I will do, same thing, I will try to do for from starting so that it will be easy to compare the schema. So like whether uh, columns got renamed correctly or not. So here required, because this is original data frame, and here I will apply because here we did rename. So here original is df and target is this one, df underscore renamed. If I run this one, see here what are the things I renamed? Only first underscore name I renamed. So here first underscore name that got renamed to employee underscore first name. Okay, so next same thing we'll do for others. Here also I will do same. This is a dictionary method. So df is same. So this variable will get changed for dictionary method. And if I run this one, see here this first name and here employee first name. And same I will apply for multiple columns also. So df is original data frame and this is updated one. If I rename this one, so in this three columns I renamed employee ID, last name, age. So employee ID got renamed to employee underscore ID and age, this age got renamed to employee underscore age, and first name, since I used here df underscore renamed in original data frame, it is first name, and this is already got renamed and this last name got renamed to employee underscore last name. Next, we'll go for dictionary method. So in dictionary method, so here I am changing this variable to this one. So if I do this one, see, you can observe the change in columns. So I think here I need to take df underscore renamed df here because the original data frame here is df underscore renamed. So if I rename this one, see here employee underscore first name already renamed. So on remaining columns, it will get renamed. Employee underscore employee ID become employee underscore ID. So last name become employee underscore last name. Age become employee underscore age. And same I will apply for next method also. So this from here we started this one. So this is fine. And next we'll go for rename non-existing column. So as I mentioned earlier, if you see in our sample data frame, that is df. So we have columns of employee ID, first underscore name, last underscore name, city, age. So by any chance, if you try to mention here non-available column, so with column renamed and inside that as a dictionary, I'm passing this one single key value. So key is non underscore existing. So, but we don't have any column like this. So that I want to change to new underscore name, but still it will work. So since that column is not available, it will skip and it will give you as df. So that is about non-existing column. Suppose uh, instead of passing the column name, what I'll do here, rename column with an empty dictionary. So here I'm passing empty dictionary. So in empty dictionary, we are not passing any key value. Okay, so but still it will give you the output. It won't throw any error. So next is rename columns with special characters or spaces. So sometimes in CSV files, you'll get like with the special characters or spaces. So those cases, still it will work same way. So like here, if you see here, special characters or spaces. So here I provided spaces here, employee space ID, employee space name. Maybe suppose I will give special any special character like dollar. If I try to recreate this one, see here my column name coming like age underscore dollar symbol. So df1 dot print schema, and if you see the schema age dollar. So now what I'm doing, I'm trying to rename the columns, mainly these two columns. So initially we have employee space ID that I'm changing to what I will do, I will add capital letter, capital E and I underscore capital I, and here employee space name I'm changing to capital E and capital Yeah. So employee underscore name. Next, what I'll do, since I updated my schema, that means column name with the age dollar symbol. So that also I'm renamed here. So with column renamed, my existing column name is this one, age dollar, and that I want to change to age. So if I rerun this one, so here what I'll do, I will add this scheme also like this, both old and new. So my latest is this one, df underscore clean, and my initial data frame is df1. So now if I run this one, is see here, employee ID. So initially it is employee space ID that got renamed to employee underscore ID. Next, employee space rename that renamed to employee underscore name. And age dollar, it renamed to age. Okay. So next, how to rename columns using both dictionary and with column renamed method. So here mainly dictionary and with column renamed, we already saw this one. But here what I'm doing, so this one by using dictionary. Okay, so here and all, we already saw how to pass dictionary. So this also same method. Whatever heading we kept, this also same because this also like rename columns using dictionary. So here we are using dictionary and with column renamed. But how it is different from here is here I'm using for loop. Instead of using simply with column renamed, I'm using for loop here. So rename columns dynamically by using for loop. So first as it is, I'm defining schema here. And in df1, we'll see the what are the columns available initially. df1 employee space id, employee space name, city, age, dollar symbol. Okay, so employee space id, employee name id, age, dollar symbol. And I will change like capital E, capital I, and at the same time capital E, capital N, and here also capital A, capital E. So first I'm defining dictionary, like what are the columns I want to change it. Next, my initial data frame, that means my sample data frame, I'm defining to one variable, df underscore dynamic. And after that, I'm using for loop. So for loop, how I'm using here is, see, whenever you apply on directly on columns, like df dot columns, suppose if you want to iterate like on df dot columns. So df dot columns is like it will give you the list of elements. So list of elements means here each element is column name. So this thing you can iterate directly by using for loop for C in df dot columns, and we can print that column. Okay, so like this, because we are looping directly this df dot columns. So here we are looping this df dot columns. So what is that? List of elements. So when you do iterate this one, you will get like this. But here our thing is a dictionary. So we don't have list here, we have dictionary. So whenever we have dictionary with key value pair, So how we need to for loop is, so for on dictionary, we have different methods to access the elements. So access the elements means access these values. So this is key, this is value. Suppose if you provide the key value, we can access that particular value. So similar way, this is my dictionary. So we have dot items method. In if you already know Python, so this items method will be uh, understood. So at the same time, I already made one video on this, on dictionary methods, like how to use this items method. So this items method, what it does is, it will pick both the key and value. So on top of this, suppose if I write this one, rename dictionary dot items. See here, we are getting like this, dict underscore items, and we are getting like this. So this list of tuples. So this is a dict, and this is a list of tuples. So now what it happens is, on top of this, rename underscore dict dot items. That means this one. So now this one, what is this? List of elements. So earlier case, here also list of elements, but if you see element, each element is single value. But here, each element is tuple. So where it went here. So now here, each element is one tuple. This is one tuple, this is one tuple, and this is one tuple. So now if you iterate this one, so how we need to iterate? We need to provide two variables here, like old comma new. So this naming convention is as per your convenient. I given old comma new, or you can give like a key comma value, or you can write like um, call comma type, call comma type. So anything is fine. So mainly what is our intention is, whenever you use this items method, so you will get like this list of tuples, and each tuple we are iterating here. So how we are iterating here is, suppose for on same thing, suppose if I try to iterate, I will give any one thing. We'll try this. So I think it won't support, I think, with a single item. So we need to pass two items. So then only it will, I will try print what. So if I print this one, see here. So this is my input. So that is a list of tuples. So if I mention single item here, that means single value here, parameter. So if I try to print this one, what it doing? So list of tuple means each tuple it iterating. So first it iterating this tuple. See here we are getting output as tuple, and this is in second iteration. This is one tuple, and third iteration this is one tuple. So like this we are getting. But what we required is, we want values separately, key value separate, value separate. So if we add this one, same thing with the key comma value, that means with the two parameters. Suppose I will add here what I given, old comma new. And at the same time, I will try to print here old comma new. So my values, it will print separate individually. See here. So If you want, we can add here some syntax also here. Maybe like I will add one string value, like key value pair, how it comes. I'll give semicolon here and I will write comma here. Now in between old and new column, you'll get this semicolon. See here like this. So whenever you use like this, so we are getting separated like this one value, this is one value. So finally, from first key value pair, that is from this, we are getting this one as separately key comma value. From second pair, we are getting this one. From third pair, we are getting this one. So that is the meaning of this code, this formula. So now what will happen is, here what I did directly, I given print statement. So instead of print statement, here what I did, I defined one variable df underscore dynamic. So df underscore dynamic, that is this one. So my original data frame defined to this variable and this variable I'm taking here. So on top of my input data frame, I'm applying this with column renamed function. And here I given old comma new. So whenever it iterates first time, see in first time, whenever it iterates, we'll get this one. So employee ID, comma, this one, employee space ID, comma, employee underscore ID. So in that, old is this one, employee space ID, that is this one. So first employee space ID, then new name is this one, employee underscore ID. So this first column, it will get renamed in first iteration. So that is this one, employee underscore ID. So next in second iteration, it will come here. So employee space name is the old and new is employee underscore name. So it will rename to employee underscore name. So if I rerun this one, so before that, I will mention these two lines of code also to get both new and old. So here my original data frame is this one, df1, or you can mention dynamic, and my final is dynamic. So since I mentioned C, let it be here df1, and here I will mention dynamic. So if I rerun this one, see here, this column names will get changed. So this employee space ID, it renamed to employee underscore ID. So here you can observe employee space ID renamed to employee underscore ID, employee space name renamed to employee underscore name. City is common. So age dollar, it renamed to employee underscore age. So this for loop, it works as explained here, and in each iteration, each column will get renamed. Okay, so next we'll go for other method. So rename columns using call.alias with a Python dictionary and Python list comprehension. So here what I did, I used for loop method by using dict.items. So here what I'm doing, instead of that, I'm using list comprehension. So for that, this is my original data frame. df1, df renamed, and age. See here. So as I mentioned earlier, ch. So in our sample data frame, we have age dollar. But here I mentioned my old column name is only age. So it's skipping that. See here, it not considering, it giving default name. So age dollar. Now it will get changed, rename. employee underscore age. So here this is fine. And here main thing is df dot select method. Inside select method, I given list compensation. So what is this list compensation? So first we need to understand this one. So we know already this one, just now we saw df dot columns. And if you use for loop for C in how it will iterate. So we saw that already. So now we need to understand this one. So what is call C, and I given alias, and on top of that, inside that I given rename. This is a dictionary, and here I used get method. So earlier I used items method here, and here I'm using get method. So we'll see one by one how it works this one. So if I come here, so first what I'm doing, this is for loop. So earlier how we given simple for loop. If you see here simple, that means without list comprehension I given for loop. So df dot columns this one. So this is total, this is equal to, this for loop is equal to this list comprehension. So you can write in any way. So what is the difference here is, if you write in like this list comprehension, you will get output also like this list of elements. Okay. So df1 dot columns, we know that the output is a list of column names. So same output will get here. If you suppose, if you write here df1 dot columns, we will get list of elements. So this list of elements, even if you iterate by using list comprehension, you will get same output. Why? Because it will iterate, same items. So first we understood what is the df1 dot columns. Next, by using list comprehension, how it will iterate. Next, what we'll do, and one more thing here, C is means columns. That means whatever the list of items here in this, that means here C means C for C. So first C is this one. So generally we'll give I. So I for I in. So here I given C. Since we are columns, no, I given C. So first C is this one, employee and employee space ID. Second is employee space name, and third is city. Fourth is age dollar. So that is C. And here, instead of giving C, what I'm giving is call of C. So we know that call function. So call of C I given. So if I give like this, what will happen? See, earlier we got only list of elements, and elements are directly column names. But as soon as I give call of C, I will get like this column and this symbol, and inside that our actual column. So this is one call of C, and this is second call of C, third call of C, fourth call of C. Next, on top of this, what I'm doing for this call C, I'm adding dot alias C. So that means I'm providing alias. So whatever column we are selecting here, so that is, this is first column, employee space ID. So for this, I'm providing alias as, and what is my alias? C. So C means again same column name. So employee space ID. So that's how it comes. In second iteration, call C. This call C means this one, column employee space name. And since I given alias here, so as, and again C means, alias C means what is that? Same thing. This same column name, it comes employee space name. And in third iteration, column city, and we have alias. For alias, we'll get as, and again C means same city. And in next iteration, column age, and alias, that is as, and C means again age. So if I rerun this one, this dollar symbol will come, age, dollar. So this is one. So next we'll go for actual thing. So here, this is my dictionary, and here what I given additionally, instead of C, what I given here, I used dictionary function here. So what is this dictionary function? So this is my dictionary. And in dictionary, we have get method to access these values of dictionary. So how it works is dictionary dot get, and here I'm giving C comma C. So in first iteration, what it did, C means this one, employee space ID. And how get method works is, so we can write simply get C also. We can write simply get C also. This also will works. But why we will write this C comma C is, so whenever if you don't have any keys here, so to avoid the error, we'll give comma C. So that means I already made one video on this dictionary.get method, why we are giving all these things. If you watch in my Python list, you will get a better understanding. So on high level, if you use dictionary dot get in get method, suppose if you pass this particular key, suppose what I will do, I will write and show you separately, like this is my dictionary. Here what I will do, rename dot dictionary, and I will use get method, and suppose I will give simply C, not C, I will give this first column. So if I pass this one, it will give, I need to provide quotation, I think. Okay, so if I pass any of the key value from this dictionary, it will give you output as that relevant value. So here in this get method, I given employee space ID. I got output as employee underscore ID. So this is fine. Suppose what I will do, I will select one more column. Maybe this one, employee underscore space, employee space name. So for this, what will happen? This relevant key value, it will pick. See here, employee underscore name. So I'll do print. So for for first, yeah, for first employee space ID, the value is employee underscore ID. So that we got. And for employee space name, that is employee underscore name, that we got. And next, what I'll do, I will do it for third one, that is age. Now we'll get third one also, that is employee underscore age. Now what I will do, I will add the column key value which is not here. Suppose sales I will give. So what will happen? It will throw error now. So it giving none. So it giving none. So instead of giving none, what I will do here is I will add some default value. So suppose I will give some default value as unknown. So now what will happen? Instead of giving none, now it will give you this default value as unknown. Okay, so this is the reason we are giving here get C comma C. So that means, so first C is we are passing this column name, old column name we are passing here. So that means whatever it iterating in first iteration, So that is employee space ID. So that we are passing here. So for that, what is the output? Employee underscore ID. For second, this one, this is the output, employee underscore name. And for age, employee underscore age. And for city, we are not mentioned, we will get as it is. So whatever this comma C is given, that is for safer side. Suppose what I'll do, I will add some more key value, which is not here. Okay, so um, what will happen? Comma C. Suppose you suppose sales. So as like here, so if that particular key value we don't have here, and in df.columns, since df.columns we don't have this sales column, so it not iterating. Okay, so that is the reason it not showing here. So suppose if you have this column, maybe what I'll do, instead of sales, I will mention city. So I will write city, and first we'll try with without mentioning anything, like see, okay, I will mention here city employee underscore city, otherwise simply city. So what I will do here is, so you will get same output. Why? Because C comma C is given. So suppose I will remove this one, but still we will get same. Why? Because here city is same. Suppose I assume that I will give unknown. So like here, see here, why we are getting here empty is, so since I given city, that means only C I given. So the value is none. So we are not getting output. So if I undo, if I give C comma C, we'll get this city. Okay. So, and finally, why we are getting C comma C is, so whenever we don't have this key, it will print unknown. Instead of printing none, it will give unknown. There is some cases, if you don't have column, it will throw error also. Sometimes it will give none. For one of the scenario, it will give none. For other scenario, it will throw error. Finally, to avoid that error, we'll give this C comma C. So that means if that particular column is not available, that means particular key is not available, then what it mean? Need to consider the same column. Need to consider the same column as we mentioned here. See, alias same is, so same column name you should refer. So that is the high level. The main concept is that one. So what is this output? We saw this output is this one. So we'll get this column names. So where is final thing? This one. So this list comprehension output is this one. So as employee ID. So why we are getting this one? Why we are writing here alias is dot alias. So we are getting as and this one and this select method is interrelated. So whenever you write select method, how you will rename column? So in select method, first you will write, suppose I will write like df dot select, and my first column name maybe, suppose you assume that this employee space ID, all the things not required. I will concentrate only on one column. So if I do like this, what I will do normally, dot alias. So whenever you use select method, we'll use alias method. Why? Because if you don't give alias method, what will happen? The column name will come as this one, employee space ID. To avoid that, in select methods, we'll write like this, dot alias employee underscore ID. So this dot alias employee underscore ID, to bring that one in select method, we are doing this one, dot alias these things. So if you are using with column method, then it will get changed. Okay, so syntax will change. So this is by using select method. So whenever you use select method, we'll write like this, alias. So the main reason behind this one, to match this one. So now this method is over. Next is how to rename the columns after performing join operation. So this is my, here I'm creating new data frame again. So this is my data frame. These are all my columns. And this is my initial data frame. That means first data frame, employee underscore data. And I have one more data frame, that is the department underscore data. So these two data frames I'm joining here. So here what I'm doing, employee underscore df. So that is this one. So this first data frame. And here I used alias, dot alias e. So how in SQL will write rise? So employee underscore df e. So similar way here, dot alias e. So that means it will uh, name alias as e. So dot join and department underscore df. So that is this particular data frame, dot alias d. So now this data frame names are e. So this is e and this is d. And on top of that, I'm giving here primary key. So means join condition, join column. So that is department underscore ID. So in PySpark, if you don't mention any what type of join here is, so in PySpark by default, it will take inner join if you don't mention anything. So inner join, what it does, it returns only matching rows from both data frames based on this column, department underscore ID column. So these are all the different syntaxes to write when you apply join conditions. For inner join, inner, and this is a default. Since it is a default, whether you mention like inner or if you omit, it's not a problem. So here I omitted that inner. If you want, you can write here dot comma inner. And for left join, we'll write like left. For right join, we'll write like right. And full join, full. Left semi join, left underscore semi. Left anti join, left underscore anti. Cross join, cross. And this is the syntax, like as I mentioned. So this inner, you can write it or without also, it's not important. Both are same. And finally, what is this inner is department underscore ID. So if you see here, department underscore ID. So here 10 is there. This is first data frame. So it will check for matching rows. So here 10, it is coming two times. And here one time is there 10. So in output, we'll get two tens. So this 110 and this 110 from this data frame. And next 20 is there, 30 is there. So here also 20 is there, 30 is there. So we'll get here 20, 30. But if you see here 35 is there, but we don't have matching record here 35. And for 40, 50 also, we don't have any matching record here. So totally it gives, finally it gives only these four rows as the common rows. So that we are getting here. And after performing join, I'm using this one with column renamed function. So here what I'm doing, department underscore name from here, this department underscore name that I'm renaming to department underscore name. Okay, so like this. So now what I'm doing, next scenario is rename all columns to uppercase. So this for loop we already saw. So like what is the df1 dot columns? Yeah, first df1 dot columns is a list of column names. So those list of columns, if I do iterate, what it will do, one by one column, it will iterate. So first what I did, this is my sample data frame, that is a df1. So that I defined to one variable df underscore upper. And in this for loop, what I did, so this df underscore upper on top of this data frame, I am applying with column renamed, and inside that C. So C means whatever iterating first column, that is this one, C, and that is old column name. And what is new column name is C dot upper. So that particular column I want to change to uppercase. Suppose df1, it is already ran. What I will do, I will copy this print statement to print both old and new, so it will be easy to compare. So here df1, that is my input data frame, and my output data frame is df underscore upper. So if I print this one, age dollar, so age dollar, okay, so we are getting uppercase. And if you compare the schema, so initially we have small letters, employee space ID. Now it converted to uppercase. So capital letters, employee space ID, and employee space name, that converted to uppercase, and city converted to uppercase, and age dollar. So age converted to uppercase. Okay, so this will work like this by using for loop. So next, how to rename columns with the suffix and uh, prefix. So this is like how to rename all columns to uppercase. And this is how to rename columns with prefix and suffix. So here what I'm doing, the syntax is same. So defining to one variable df underscore prefixed. So for loop is same. So only difference is here. So earlier for doing upper, I given c dot upper. So here on top of this C, we are adding this function. So F string I'm using here, F string, and in F string I'm using src underscore. So this is the thing I want to add prefix here, src underscore. So src underscore, and inside that C means our old column. So whatever it iterates, right, first column, so that it will give you here. And here also I'll print this print schema. So we'll see what is column name and new column name. So df1 is common, and this df underscore upper I changed to df underscore prefixed. And if you see here, employee space ID, it changed to source underscore employee space ID. So maybe what I can do here is, since already space is there here and here, where you can omit that. Simply you can keep src and src C. If you omit this C, what will happen? There also it will maintain C. Now it come confusing, right? I will give space here. See here, space we are getting. So src space employee space ID. So this is about prefix. Suppose if you want to add suffix also, so you can add it. So what I will do, instead of prefix, I will add suffix, maybe like space new. So if I run this one, see here, first employee space ID, see employee space ID, that is our old column name. It got changed to employee space ID space new. So city space new, age space new. At the same time, you can add both prefix and suffix also. So here I will try to add both prefix and suffix. So first I'll write maybe like same thing like src. Here I'll write so underscore. Maybe here also I'll write like underscore new. If you see here, it will get add both suffix and prefix. See here, employee space ID, it changed to source underscore and source underscore at the starting and at the ending underscore new. Okay, so this same maybe same thing, instead of since we are using suffix, since we are getting spaces, what I will do, instead of df1, I will take some other uh, data frame which we already given underscore. So what I will do, uh, this is fine, and this is df renamed. Okay, so df underscore renamed. So this I will take now. So why? Because we already have underscores. So now what will happen if I change to this one? So df underscore prefixed, maybe I'll keep this one as it is for future reference. Instead of that, what I'll do, df underscore prefixed equal to df underscore rename. So here I will write df underscore renamed. And now here I will write underscore. So if I rerun this one, if you see here, see here, now our sample data frame is this one, apply underscore ID, that got renamed to, so src underscore c. It not happening. Okay. So here also I need to change. Instead of df1, I need to write df underscore renamed. So if I run this one, see here src underscore employee underscore ID. So everywhere it is underscore src underscore src underscore. At the same time, here also we have underscore. Okay, so same thing you can change here also. Okay, so similar way you can do it here also. And finally, what is the difference between with column renamed versus alias? So this renaming of columns we can do by using alias also. But what is the difference is, with column renamed is the permanent rename and alias is the temporary rename. So that means it will up to that particular notebook up to session only. And it works on data frame. So alias we mainly used in select statement. Only in select statements we'll use this alias. Select and some joins, aggregate functions, those kind of times we'll use alias. And by using with column renamed, at a time we can use uh, one call. So we cannot apply multiple columns at a time, but alias can be uh, applied for multiple columns at a time. So here schema will get changed, but if you give alias, no schema change. So schema change means, as I mentioned here, see here, this is before applying with column renamed, and after applying with column renamed, that schema got changed. So that means column names got changed. But in case if you use alias method, so there is no change in schema. So that means maybe suppose if you take df1, we'll see one example here, df1. Suppose you so df1 dot select, what I will do, maybe one column I will rename. So initially df1 is this one, employee underscore space id. So employee space id, this one I'm renaming to. So what we given here is employee underscore id. So maybe like this, employee space id, and I'll write display. So if I try to display this one, and I will define to some variable, maybe like alias, and this variable I'll try to display here. And at the same time, what I'll do, I'll try to display both the scheme. So my initial data frame is df1, and my final data frame is df underscore alias. So if I try to print this one, see here df1 dot select, df1 dot select. What I will do otherwise, uh, I will pick other columns also. Otherwise, let it be. So employee space ID, that rename it to employee ID. And if you see here original schema, so this is my original schema, and this is my old. And if you see same column name, same column name is there, but since I applied alias, it should rename here. But df1 dot select star df1 dot select dot alias, it should to rename here. There is some mistake in the syntax. What I will do, instead of this one, I'll write call function I will use. Okay, so whenever you use alias, no, if you write only this in string format, it won't apply alias. So always use call. So call of employee ID, that one I'm changing to employee ID. And at the same time, for remaining columns, what I will do, these things. So these things, okay, here also I will do alias. I will do alias and I will rename for all the things. So employee space ID, I rename to employee ID. Employee space name, I rename to employee name. And age dollar, I rename it to age. And if I display now, see here, all the columns will get changed. See here, employee ID. And since I am not selected this city, it not coming. So what I will do, instead of alias, I'll call only column name. So city So I don't do alias here. So if I rerun this one, I'll get city also here. And for age dollar, okay, age dollar, dollar I removed. So employee space ID, employee name. Okay. So initially employee underscore space, employee space ID, I changed to employee ID. So employee ID, so employee name, so employee space name, change to employee name. Okay. So this is about alias method. Okay, so that's all about this video on how to rename the columns by using with column renamed method with different types of methods as we discussed initial. So these are all the different methods we followed here by using with column renamed. So I explained in detail. So each and every method. So you can follow this one to apply in your real time. So that's all about this video. If you really like this one, please like and subscribe. Thank you.